Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Williams Fitness back again with another video, and we've got a special guest today, classic physique champion from the San Antonio, Rickey Moten. Now, Rickey, our new series we're doing on the channel is called Raw and Uncut. So I'm warning you now, whatever you say will be in the video. So if you call someone out, you say someone looks trash, it's in the video.
All right, cool.
Censor yourself, brother.
All right, that's cool.
Okay, so obviously, you've not been on the scene for too long, basically since 2018 on the Pro Series. What I like to do on this series that I do is get more of a background knowledge of each athlete as a person.
Okay.
And to do that, we always go way back when to everybody's individual youth. Now, what was your childhood like? What sports were you into? What sort of shit did you get up to?
Man, I played pretty much every sport, man. I played, I did basketball, football, baseball for a few years, ran track, high jump, and also powerlifted. That powerlifting is what pretty much started my whole background in lifting, because I was extremely like thin, real small. So 7th grade, I just decided, to start powerlifting and whatnot. And once I did that, it just kind of took off from there.
So how old 7th grade then?
I started like 7th, 8th grade, so I was like 13.
You were powerlifting at 13?
Yeah.
So you've always been tank?
No, I didn't put on size until I switched over to classic.
Oh shit.
Because
okay.
I turned.
So who got you into powerlifting?
Just the coach, just the high school coach. I would always work out, and then he seen me and he was talking about powerlifting, and he said, "Well, you're in junior high right now, so you can't actually compete because it's a high school sport. But you say this is raw and uncut, so we went to a meet, and I was just supposed to watch." And then all of a sudden he looked around and he was like, Rick, I think you can beat some of these guys. So he pulled out an extra suit. It wasn't even a real powerlifting suit. It was just like a loose wrestling singlet. And I just threw it on, and nobody knows that I'm in the 8th grade. And I compete, and I actually placed second.
Yeah. So what was the lift? What was the heavy lift? Can you remember what it was?
In the beginning, my bench wasn't great. It was my squat. It was my squat and my deadlift. So 8th grade, they were both around 340, 345. But I was in the 132 class.
Nice. Okay, so you've obviously started training in the gym. You're doing weights. You're doing powerlifting. What, like, from that point to obviously like your late teens, were you still doing sort of bodybuilding style workouts in the gym? Were you following anybody from like Flex magazine, all that kind of stuff? Like, how did it all come about?
Man, the only thing that I was doing, I was pretty much what everybody was doing. I was going to bodybuilding.com, just searching, finding some type of workout. Like, oh, this 4-day split looks cool. This 4-day mass builder, it looks cool. so I'm gonna do that. And I mean, I literally had. I mean, it was still pretty much powerlifting, because as far as bodybuilding, I knew nothing of it until 2014. I graduated in 2008. So it wasn't until 2014 when my old powerlifting coach, he seen me and he told me, "Hey, you should try to compete. You look like, some of these guys on the magazines." And I'm just thinking like, man, come on. The only reason you're saying that is because you coached me when I was younger. That's it. That's the only reason you're saying it. But I ended up looking into it, and I just reached out. I just reached out to a lady named Casey, because I seen that she had a team. I was like the first person that popped up. I reached out to her, and boom, and she connected me with my first coach, Steve, and it took off from there. Did my first show in men's physique in 2015. took third in that. That was the Dallas Europa.
Oh shit.
Did another show. A couple months later in October, took second in that. Then did my first national show in 2016 USA's, where I won my class, and that's why I turned pro in men's physique.
In men's physique. Okay. So
Yeah.
have you ever like considered like doing anything like going up to open, or is physique where you want to stay at? Because I've seen a lot of younger guys that as they've matured and obviously put more size on, they sort of work their way up through the classes. Are you like comfortable where you're at? Is that where you want to stay, or have you got your eye, your sights set on anything else?
Oh man, honestly, it's definitely a possibility. To be honest, it's definitely a possibility to either move to 212 or open or anything like that. Because I believe, my thing is I would go to open if and when like the look kind of changes a little bit, like with Pat coming out, with Pat
Yeah.
coming about. Because I'm from Houston, just like Pat. We've been at the same gym at Raw, things like that. And when people see him, they see, guy with mass but can still pull off a vacuum. That can change the look of open, just like someone like Keon can change the look of 212.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a possibility for me to move up.
So have you trained with Patrick then, or do you just see him at the same gym kind of thing?
We haven't trained together, but I mean we talk a lot.
You need to get on that, brother.
I need to put on some more size before I get in the gym with Pat.
Oh no, he's working all day. He's tired. You can keep up with him. He's working all day, brother.
Man, I don't know about that.
William Bonac invited me out to the Netherlands to go train with him. I'm thinking, nah, I'm good.
I wouldn't do that either.
You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, you said you got your pro card 2016, was it?
Mm.
Okay. Leading up to that then, was there anybody that you were like following or watching on social media? Anybody you were sort of like aiming at to like sort of simulate with physique or anything like that?
So as far as physique, since I had just started looking at it, obviously you're trying to see who the top guy is.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just look it up on the internet and I see Jeremy Buendia, so I see him and I seen everything that he was doing, and he actually coached me for a little bit.
I was going to mention that, yeah.
Yeah, he actually coached me for a little bit. But that's who I was watching. As far as competing wise, that's who I was watching. Not really competing. I was also watching Simeon.
Simeon Panda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So did you pick up a lot of like training tips from him or anything on nutrition, anything along those lines?
I tried to follow it, but I'm gonna be completely honest. My first show, second show, I wasn't really focused at all, and it made me, I still think back now that I took third in the first, second in the second one, but I wasn't completely focused. So it just kind of makes me go back and think like, what if I would have been focused?
Yeah, you would have won them both.
What I could have done.
I think, to be fair though, like a lot of pros that I've spoken to about this and their first shows, a lot of them, like, I don't think they give it their all, because I don't think it's more a case of being nervous for that show. I think it's more a case of being nervous to pursue it as a career. So I think they can, most people when they first start out at shows have got full-time jobs. Because obviously, yeah. So obviously you've got to hold your own shit down, keep the lights on, and then bodybuilding is the side hobby almost at that point. And obviously, like, you probably know that Pat works full-time anyway, as well as doing bodybuilding. I take it you're in the same sort of situation, or?
I train all the time. That's my
fully bodybuilding. That's it.
I mean, I train clients.
Okay, so is that your your like side jobs, you personal train, and
Yeah.
is that online coaching? Is that sort of thing?
That's one-on-one, that's online. But when I did start, I was working out of a warehouse, like a shipping warehouse. So I was doing 12-hour days. Then I would like 6 days a week. So I would get off work and then, drive 35 minutes back home and go to the gym.
Fuck, and still get all their meals in.
Yeah.
Dedication. So, circling back to Buendia.
Okay.
Yeah, there's obviously a few videos online on YouTube of you and Buendia training. I think you had a bit of a mini masterclass from Danny Hester on your posing. I've seen that. What was the relationship like with Jeremy last year then? Because obviously I know a lot of shit's happened with Jeremy, which I'm not trying to go into. But what did you learn from Jeremy? Obviously, him being, he was going for 5 for 5. Did you pick up any good tips, any training advice?
Yeah, he definitely taught me that when I thought I was working hard, to work harder. Some of the stuff that we did, it was like nonstop. Like between every set, flex as hard as you can, just squeeze. To the point of like you feel like you want to pass out. It was rough. And I can say he definitely took care of me. He definitely helped me out. He helped me out a lot. Really helped me out a lot because it actually started when I was doing men's physique. He actually mentioned something in 2017 when I did my pro debut. So then I seen him at Pittsburgh a few weeks later, and we talked and everything. We exchanged numbers, and before he even coached me, he was giving me tips. So I always thought that was pretty cool. And
yeah, that is pretty cool considering like you could have been going up against him at some point. He's still
yeah,
out here giving you advice.
in Pittsburgh, he told me, he said, yeah, man. He said, I remember his words exactly. I got like last call outs. He said, dude, he said, you're not a last call out. He said, you don't have a last call out physique. He said, the reason why you're placing so low in men's physique, he said, is because you're too big. He said, you need to go up. You need to move up to classic.
Okay. So that's probably the best advice you've ever had then, realistically then.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so are you and Jeremy still on speaking terms? Do you reach out to you every so often, or?
I actually talked to him maybe like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like a month or two ago, and everything was cool. Everything was cool. He asked me how I was doing, asked me how my wife, my daughter was doing, everything like that.
Yeah, he's had to come sort of full circle the last 12 months and to sort of get his shit together and focus on what actually matters, I think. So what are your plans for 2020? What competitions have you got in mind? Like what's going on with you?
Well, obviously in like 2.5 weeks to Arnold.
Well, the thing is, I wasn't going to bring it up. Obviously, we've been speaking over DMs, and you've sent me pictures of posing and such forth. But who in your head do you just want to beat? Obviously, you want to win the whole show, but I ask everybody this. I ask everybody the same question. Who is your benchmark of maybe they beat you at a previous show? You think I just want to beat this fucker?
You know what?
Go on.
Man, I actually I want to beat myself. That's what I want to beat the previous. I want to beat the guy that won San Antonio. That's who I want to beat.
Okay. But who on the stage, brother? Who on the stage? Come on. Okay. Put yourself. Okay, I'll make it easier for you. Put yourself in the top 3. You and 2 other guys. Who do you think it's going to be?
If I was in the top 3.
No, you are going to be in the top 3. Who are the other 2?
Definitely. Okay. Definitely Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Steve Lorius, man. Because that's my boy. He's yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, we were just talking yesterday, and he's something serious. Um, man, it's so tough. And then let me see. I guess I can.
You're gonna lose some friendships here.
Oh
Do
man.
you want to top 5 instead?
So I'm gonna go with RUFF.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna go with RUFF. You know, and I've never competed. I never competed against RUFF, but I've always wanted to. You know, my thing is I want to go where the best guys are at to see how I measure up. Let me see. Man, dude, all of them are a threat, man.
Yeah, but you gotta narrow it down, brother. Come on.
Oh man. Um,
Come on, just bang them out. Say them. Go.
let me see.
You already know
I
him.
would
You're just
say.
hesitating.
Let me see. I would say Alex Caminero.
Yeah, okay.
Man,
The tension.
fifth, I can put like 3 people in like
Put one.
I can change like 3 people.
You only need one. So I'll send this to all of them. I won't even send it to the 5 you picked. I'll send it to the others you didn't pick. They'll be like, this motherfucker didn't pick me.
Yo, if you're watching it, you're watching this interview right here. You know, he's baiting me into this, you know. All right, so all I need is one more.
Yeah.
On this one more. I'm gonna go with Abton, Abner, and Santee. I'm gonna put all of them as one name. I ran all the names.
That was weak, brother.
Man, you try.
Okay.
The
Fair enough.
reason I put AB, the reason AB beat me in Tampa.
Okay, that's fair.
So hey man, but dude, you can't count anybody out, man.
That's just it. I just like to see who people like, because people like bodybuilders do have preset in their head. Like, obviously everybody wants to win a show, but everybody has people as markers. Like,
Right.
He beat me last year. I need to beat him. And then obviously the win is obviously the golden fucking nugget at the end of it. But obviously William wanted to beat Phil. Who wanted to beat Cedric? Patrick wants to beat Cedric.
Right.
Who did I have on just that guy Sestino on. Who did he want to beat? Derek Lunsford.
Okay.
That's a tough one, I think. He's asking a bit there.
See, like Steve is a tough one. Steve will be honestly, because that's just.
How old is Steve though?
How old is?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think he might be a few years older than me, and I'm 30. So.
When I pulled up your stats earlier, for obviously get some notes together for the interview. When I seen your age, I was like, this is bullshit. I thought you were about 25. I'm not even going to lie. I thought you were like super young, brother. And then you were like, I've got to pick my daughter up. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like I say, Steve is definitely a dangerous one. Rough in his posing. Like I said, I told Ruff to stay away from the Arnold. We were sitting down in Tampa, and I looked at him. He was asking me about what shows I had playing. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm thinking about doing the Arnold. I'm probably gonna do the Arnold." And I was like, "Man, stay your ass away from my show. Like, stay away. Like,
You know what's funny though? I ordered one of his hats, one of his merch hats. Like, I can't even think what it was called. And I was going to wear it whilst I was interviewing you, but it hasn't come yet. I was just going to give you some motivation so you could be staring at it this whole time thinking, this motherfucker has got his name on his head.
Man, Ruff is, I think he did it on purpose. I told him not to do the show, man, but he did it anyway. And as soon as that list came out and his name was put on there, I just DM'd him. I was like, I thought I told you stay away from the show, and like all he did was laugh, man. But yeah, Ruff is a good guy,
Yeah,
great
he
guy.
is 100%. Yeah. So let's go back to the San Antonio Pro.
Hmm.
What was that like winning? Because obviously
Um,
you've placed quite well in every pro show you've done. Even when you got sixth place, that's still a respectable place. How did it feel though winning that big show for the first time?
Man, that was honestly the best feeling ever. And the reason why is because only my first two shows that I did, as an amateur were in Texas. And so my parents had never seen me compete in person before because during that time my dad was having surgery on his back so he couldn't travel. So when San Antonio popped up, I was like, okay, I'm doing this show. So my entire family was able to be there to watch that, and that's why, I mean, that was just really special to me. That was just the best.
So when you say your entire family, who rocked up? We're talking mom, dad, brothers,
Um,
sisters.
yeah, mom, dad. Well, not the whole family. My sisters couldn't make it. They were working, and it was kind of late notice because I decided the week before that so
Hang on, whoa,
yeah,
whoa,
I,
whoa,
I
whoa,
was.
whoa, whoa! Rewind. 1 week before the show, you're like, "Fuck it, I'll do it."
Well, I was already in Tampa. Tampa was the week before San Antonio, so I took second in Tampa, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do San Antonio. It's the first show to qualify for the 2020 O. So let's just go ahead and do it. It's at home, so let's try it.
Damn. And you won.
Yeah. Um,
What was it like
yeah.
though? So what sort of feedback did you get from your mum and dad?
I mean, they were happy. They were extremely happy. Like they couldn't stop talking about it. Couldn't stop. Just constantly talking about it. That's it. Because they had never seen it up close. I mean, they watched me last year on a live stream at the Arnold, but I mean, it's nothing like being there in person. So it
True.
was. I mean, it was great.
So obviously you've got a young daughter. What does
Mhm.
she? Is she like at the age where she understands what daddy's doing, or is she like young and she just thinks daddy's just lifting weights?
Oh, yeah, she knows. She definitely understands. She's 7, so she'll actually keep me in check. She'll ask me that I do my cardio, or she'll have some type of snack, and she'll eat it, and she'll say, "Oh, I like this snack. I have this." She's like, "But you can't have it because you have a show coming up." Like, oh, like,
Nice.
hey, wow. Hey, like, first of all, I bought you those. Like, I bought those.
She's doing you a
Like,
favor, brother. She's doing you a favor.
yeah, but I mean, just from watching me, at the gym and things like that, she wants to work out. She'll work out, and I mean, she knows what to do, and she even knows how to pose. Like, she poses
Yeah,
just from
girls are good at
watching.
that. I think that's a genetic thing for girls for posing. She'll be doing selfies next.
Oh man, no, oh, it's yeah, she's been
TikTok.
doing that. She's been doing that for about 2 years now, taking
What
selfies.
selfies?
Yeah, yeah. My wife grabbed her phone and it said her storage space was low because it was nothing but pictures of her.
I can believe that. It's all the same picture as well, isn't it? It's like
Oh
50
man,
of the
same.
same one.
Oh man, it's the exact same picture. That's it. It's like 100 of them, man.
So obviously you've got the Arnold coming up in a couple of weeks that you're going to win, aren't you? Yeah.
That's what we're shooting for.
Next goal is obviously is going to be the O. What are you looking
Yeah,
forward to most about going to the O? Is it, the sort of the spectacle of the Olympia, or is it more personal to you with regards to like how far you've come in your bodybuilding career?
yeah. That's what it is because I always said I've never been to the Olympia. not even as a spectator. And I always said I would never go. I would never go to my first one unless I was competing. So that's what gave me the motivation to work hard to try to earn that ticket to the O. Because I've always wanted to go. I had one of my sponsors last year, asked me like, "Hey, we have a booth, like come out," and I was like, "No, I can't do it because I wanted to compete at my very first one going out there. I want to compete, so I'm just happy that I'm able to get that opportunity now."
100%. Damn. So obviously, following on from the O, just 3 weeks later is the Athleticon. Are you going?
Most likely.
I already know what's going on, and I know you can't say, and I know everybody else can't say, because I know things have been posted and there's non-disclosure agreements and all this kind of shit. We know, brother, we know. I know you can't say shit. But most likely is a good answer.
Most likely. Most likely. Only time will tell. We'll see.
What are you expecting from that show? Because obviously everything's going to be new about it. What have you got any hopes for anything in particular at that show?
Man, I just hope it's run well. I just hope it's run well. And
the thing I've heard as
pretty
well is because obviously the IFBB are managing it. Obviously they're not running it, but they've told them they have to have the prize money lower than the Olympia.
Oh, really?
Because of the prestige around the Olympia name, because they wanted $1 million per class. So obviously the million split between whether it's classic physique, open 212, bikini, whatever. It was
right.
The bar was set, but the IFBB went, nah, it's got to be less than the Olympia. And I was like, what does it fucking matter? Like the athletes will get this money, not it's not from ticket sales, it's not from sponsorships. The athletes are doing all the fucking work. That money will filter down. So even if you got 10th, you'd have got paid. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I think that what the IFBB forget is, let's say you went out and you didn't place as high as you expected and you didn't take a check. You had to pay for your travel, your accommodation, your meals, your fucking proton. What else is there? Just loads of other shit that comes with it. Even your trunks, you've had to pay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, everything.
I think when that money should be filtered down, I do think everybody that gets on stage should still get paid. Even if you don't win, even if it's just $1,000 that covers some of your expenses. You've gone, you've put on a show. If you turn up shit, I think you should pay them $1,000. If you turn up looking trash just for a $3,000 check, then I think you should have.
I used to wonder why did some pros end up looking like really bad on stage? And it wasn't until I turned pro that I realized what happens. When we get these contracts, once you sign them and send them in, you're in that show. So like a lot of guys will sign 4 or 5 contracts like months out. The show might not be for like 8 months, and they'll sign that contract. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen within that 8 months.
Yeah, I think. Who are you referring to? Who looks shit?
Man, this was like, I don't know, it's like 4 years ago, so I don't know.
What class?
Physique, I don't know. It's been.
I've got you. Like it's from my fishing rod here.
It's been all of them, man. All of them.
That's a fair statement.
But I mean that's. I mean, I just really don't see a reason to sign a contract 8 months in advance.
So, have you got anybody coaching you with regards to like your nutrition, drug protocol, anything along those lines? And obviously you train, or do you just do everything yourself?
Team HD, Dorian Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with Dorian?
Yeah, with Dorian, like the last, it's kind of funny. So, so for Tampa, and I was 10 days out, and a lot of stuff was a lot of unfortunate stuff was going on with JB, um, and I felt like he needed to take that time and focus on himself, because it
Yeah.
would be it would be selfish of me to say, hey man, screw what you got going on. You need to focus on me, you know. So uh so 10 days out, Dorian came in and dialed me in for Tampa, and then 7 days later dialed me in for San Antonio. So this is actually our first full prep together. So those two shows, Tampa and San Antonio, we worked together for 17 days.
So when you say he dialed you in, do you think you could have done it? You couldn't have done it without him, or do you feel that you definitely needed him to obviously get those two places for first and second?
Yeah, I feel like, having that set of eyes, to look at you. I feel like that's better than just trying to, always do it on your own,
Yeah.
because you're gonna see yourself every day. So the slightest change, you won't even notice.
Yeah,
You
me and William
probably
had this conversation. Yeah, because obviously William famously sacked Neil Hill over his Instagram story. I don't know if you saw that. I think it was at the beginning of
yes,
last year. Yeah.
yes, yeah, I saw it.
And obviously, I brought this up with William. Like, do people need a coach? Is it a case of they're overrated, or does it come with how much knowledge and skill that they've got with whatever they're doing? And
Right,
I think you've just sort of hit the nail on the head. Obviously, you're new in the game. Yeah, you've had 4 pro shows and you've had other little shows coming up to where you're at today. But like you say, with you being a newcomer, and I use the word loosely, obviously he's got more things that he can pass on. Like you say, you see yourself day in, day out. You're not going to see the things that need fine tuning, especially when
right,
it comes to, it's not just all about the nutrition. It's obviously, I presume you're sending in pictures
right,
and
right,
different poses. Yeah, it's just, a slight turn, you're out on a mandatory pose, or, you've not brought your taper in nicely.
right.
There's a multitude of different things. Do you think in time, you're going to pick up all these things from, say, Dorian, and maybe 2 or 3 years' time go alone? Or do you think it's a case of, you found somebody that you can work well with and you plan on sticking by that person for the duration of your career?
Yeah, I plan on sticking by him,
Yeah.
because because in the beginning, like when I would do my cardio, and I think Pat touched on this in his interview, but I mean, I'm on the stairmaster. I'm basically running on that thing, and I mean doing like a lot of cardio. But now, like, it cuts down, and that was the first thing that happened. Like with Tampa, I'm like, okay, I got to get lean, and the first thing Dorian does is, all right, post workout cardio is eliminated, fasted cardio goes down, carbs go up. I was like, hey, I got 10 days. I got to get tighter, and it just started changing day after day. And he's like, take the intensity of that stairmaster down. You don't need to be going that fast on it. So I took it down, and that's when I see all the changes. I'm like, but I feel like I'm barely doing anything. But it's not. I guess what I was doing was going too fast, and I was putting too much stress on my body, and my body
That's
was
the thing. Yeah.
rejecting the progress.
It's this. It's your central nervous system as well, especially if you're like working day to day and you've got clients all day. All that's pressure and strain. And if you're obviously, we both know you get up at like stupid o'clock in the morning to do cardio. What was it, like 4:30 a.m. You text me or something? I was like, what the fuck? Has he pissed the bed? Why is he up this time?
I I had, and the funny thing, man, I actually, I was already like going, but I almost text you at, like, once I got up, and that was at 3.
Fuck. What time do you go bed?
I don't know. Um, I mean, for interview purposes, I get 8 hours of sleep every night.
Oh, bullshit. Are you doing cardio in the bedroom?
Nah, man.
Oh, it's because you're
Nah.
married. Just birthdays and Christmas, yeah?
Oh man, that's great.
It's as you're roaring on cut, brother.
I see. I see, man. I definitely see. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Okay, so obviously, you get up super early. What are you doing then if your cardio's been cut back this much? Is it just are you doing your training? Then I mean, how often do you practice your posing, your mandatory poses? I mean, how's your week, Luke?
I practice posing every day. So because like the thermogenic that I take from Condemned Labs, styrogenic, I take that. I take it an hour before I do cardio because it makes you it really makes you sweat. So wake up at 3, take that, whatnot, and then boom, just kind of wait out that hour, go do my cardio, and then as soon as I get off the stairs, I'll do my posing, practice all of my posing, and then I'm back at the house to eat. Um, get my daughter situated. While my wife gets ready, because my wife gets ready to go to the gym as well. So I'll get my daughter situated, get her ready for school, and that's how it goes. Monday through Friday.
Routine.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, that routine. Then the
What?
weekends I'm just up to the gym, um, cardio, pose.
How do you balance then? Like, obviously, your work as bodybuilding. How do you manage that with family time? Like, how do you do you have to plan ahead to schedule like parties or taking your daughter to the park, these things, or do you just free up a specific day of the week? I mean, how does that all work for you?
Uh, Um, I mean, it wasn't easy, in the beginning. Definitely wasn't easy, but I've tried to make sure that when certain things are going on, I'm not going to miss it. Like at the school, like during this prep, at the school they had donuts for dad, so I'm up there with my daughter, and they have a donut and things like that. Um, and I mean, she's 7. Those days aren't going to last.
Yeah.
That's the day that I can't get back. So I'm like, you know, screw it. I'm going to do it. This is time with my daughter. And I mean, one of the toughest things while prepping for the Arnold is it's literally last week was you know like my wife and I's anniversary. So
Okay.
and it's close to showtime. So I mean, and she understands. She definitely understands. In the beginning, it was tough because neither one of us knew how to manage and knew how to handle this. This was completely new to both of us. But now we know how to deal with it. So everything is just smooth sailing.
So obviously she goes to the gym as well. Does she train with you or does she do her own thing?
On the weekends, she'll train with me. Um, she trains later at night because I train earlier in the morning. I train early in the morning, like during the week. So she's not able to be there at that time. So I'll actually go with her and put her through, the different workouts that she needs to do.
Okay, so how does your meal planning sort of work within the family unit? Because like Bonak's wife practically shoves food under his face. Same with Patty's missus. She's doing the same thing. Are you on top of your food game, or is she on top of it for you?
I'm on top of it.
You are.
Yeah, I'm on top of my food. I prep all of my food. I
Well,
I do because like once I see what Dorian wants me on, then I I remember it. So I remember the amounts for each meal, and I never have to go back and look at it and say, oh, okay, well, it's this, or it's that. I just know how to prep it, so it takes less time. I can easily just go do it, boom, and I'm already eating.
so What do you prefer? Do you prefer bulking when it comes to diet, or do you prefer dieting into a show? Now, the common consensus of this is in fact, everybody has actually said they prefer dieting into a show because it's easier to eat. Is
Oh
that
man, yeah,
true?
yeah, definitely easier to eat, man. Like you get to like that, you're bulking, you get to like that fourth or fifth meal, and you don't want any more. You really don't want, you don't want to eat no more. You just like man, I got another, 6, 7, 8 ounces of rice or something like that. I'm like, I don't want that. Like this, like I could take this one meal and feed my whole family. I don't feel like eating this right now. That's have you interviewed Hunter?
No, no.
Okay, yeah, ask him about getting meals down.
Drop him a DM. Tell him, come on.
All right, I'll do that. Tell you, man, because I haven't done it, but yeah, he gets his meals down.
Really? Was he blending them?
Yep.
I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah, I
Dorian
haven't
Yates
tried.
used to do that. Dorian
Yeah.
Yates used to put, I think it was like 3 tins of tuna, and he'd just blend it up and just drink it. And I was like, oh, that sounds gross.
See, man, like that's why dieting into a show is actually better. Yeah, you might be tired, low energy or whatever, man, but it was just trying to force feed all the time. Like,
What's your go-to like cheat meal then? So say you've just come off stage, San Antonio. What food have you been thinking about on that entire prep? What are you going straight to?
I really don't have one, to be honest. And the reason why I can get something so simple as just like regular burger, fry, but I have to be very careful because it's happened at quite a few shows. Boom, off stage, coach, hey, go enjoy it. All right, cool.
Spilled
I go
over.
get I go get something, and I start to smell the food and I start getting sick to my stomach. Yeah.
Okay.
There was one show that I did right after I tried to eat. Nope, wasn't going. I had to order a chicken, like a grilled chicken salad, and eat that.
Post-show, you've gone
Yeah.
to, so other guys on pizza, ice cream, cookies, and you're like, fuck that. Chicken
I
salad.
like if I do that, I will get sick to my stomach.
Do you think it's just because you've been so consistent on sort of like basically simple food for so
Right.
long? When it comes to like something that's higher in calories or sugar or whatever, it's just like, oh,
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what happens.
damn. Okay,
The thing
okay.
that the thing that I mean, but honestly, thing that I be craving the most is just something to drink, water, Gatorade, something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, have you got your music set yet for the Ohio?
Yeah, I do.
Are you not saying it?
Not saying,
Fucking
not saying
yeah.
it, not saying it.
You saying shit. Okay, okay. Is there anything that you want to plug or promote while you're on?
Uh, man,
Anything?
my my Instagram, at official real T underscore
I'll put
IFBB
it on the
Pro.
screen.
Cool. My supplement sponsor, Condemn Labs,
What's your code?
Moten 10. Then Jed North. My code is Rickey 20. Um, man, I'm trying to remember because everything got a different code. Matter of fact, I can see it right now. Then I'm serious, man. And then my shorts, Chula. Yeah. So those are the shorts that I wear. Um, that code is Ricky 10 as well. Paragon waist taper, right? That code is Moten 15. I wear that waist taper every cardio session. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool, brother. Well, what we'll do, we'll get you on. Dude, I love that
Dungeon,
snapback. It looks dope as fuck.
yeah,
I
Dungeon
love my hats,
Vultures.
I do. You won't get one of them rough ones.
You know what? I'm gonna get. You know what? I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one. Like when I get to the Arnold, I'm gonna have one of his hats. I'll take a picture. Take a picture with him with his hat.
Sweet. I'll tell you what we'll do after the Arnold. We'll get Ruff on and you, and we'll discuss what happened.
All right, that's cool.
Okay, brother. Thank you so much for coming on, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure. And like I say, we'll get you back on soon as. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.